Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of 2 Minutes to Review. It's Matt.
And it's Zach.
This episode brought to you by Lucky 13 Beard Co. Stay tuned until the end of the episode. We're going to give you a code to give you 10% off of your order of all of the amazing beard balms and oils that they have to offer, including our brand new Lemmy-inspired beard oil. More on that in just a little bit, but you click the picture. They've got another brand new one coming out. It is the new one from Lamb of God.
Chant it with me. Omens! We've reviewed Lamb of God in the past before, but there's not much.
Sorry, just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Don't spoil that review. Go back and listen to it yourselves. Listen, Lamb of God is one of the most awesome metal bands currently going on right now. They've been around over 2 decades. This is album number 9, but they are just one of the bands that constantly at least delivers live albums. Depends on your view on Lamb of God's past stuff, but I mean, Randy Blythe is definitely just a larger-than-life figure on stage and also off stage. He's definitely a metal ambassador. I mean, it's hard to find someone who's into the more extreme metal sounds and not into Lamb of God. They're definitely waving the flag. And it's also for harder sounding metal. And it's kind of remarkable just how they keep getting bigger and bigger with each album, it seems like.
No arguments here.
See? You can't even argue with it. You can't.
I didn't think I was supposed to.
I mean, it would be fun if you did once in a while.
I'm good.
I will say, as Matt started to allude to with his puking in his mouth, the last time we reviewed the Metal Titans from Virginia, we were left wanting more, to be frank. Their last self-titled album.
Like an album?
Ouch. It definitely left a little bit more to be desired, which is why I personally was interested to see if this was becoming the new normal, that Lamb of God was starting to kind of just cruise by on autopilot, or if maybe the time during the pandemic kind of recharged them and had them coming back at full throttle. So, Matt, unless if you wanted to just chime in more about your thoughts on Lamb of God.
I'll save it for the review.
Without spoiling too much. Matt, then, would you like to go first?
Sure.
We're going to spice it up a little bit here at the expense of potentially losing listeners, because it sounds like you got some thoughts on Omens.
I do.
Before we begin, every Lamb of God fan, please listen through. I swear, we're not just here to try to piss you off. I swear. Please listen through. So, Matt, you ready?
I'm ready.
The longest review in under 2 minutes between Matt or I wins this little fun game that we have, whatever you want to call it. Ready, set, go.
So I was ready to come on here and give a 2-word review, and Zach can attest to this. I was literally going to say shit sandwich, and I'd be done with my review. However, after listening to this, I have never seen a band turn around in one album the way that Lamb of God has turned around on the brand new one. There is not one bad track on this entire album, and it sounds completely new for Lamb of God, and I like the direction that this album is going. It reminds me of old school Hatebreed, maybe sprinkling a little bit of like New York City hardcore in there, but there's just something so groovy and so different about Lamb of God on this album that what you have heard so far in Grayscale, the single that came out, that's just a small taste of the different sounds that you're going to get on this. Nevermore, Vanishing, To the Grave, Ditch. The first 4 tracks, I thought after the first track it was just going to be a fluke. However, it kept going and going and going. And getting onto Gomorrah, I don't know. It's probably my new favorite Lamb of God song. But in actuality, Lamb of God has actually reaffirmed my faith in the band since that last piece of trash in 2020.
Whoa. I was not prepared for that little twist.
I never said I wasn't going to like the new one. I said the last one was horrible.
No, but your whole little attitude, the whole little attitude you had as you were getting ready made me think, he's just going to get ready to poop.
Well, like I said, you and I talked about this when we were waiting to get the album. I said I was going to come on here and I was going to say shit sandwich and 5 points to you if you get where that comes from. And that was going to be it. That would be the shortest album review we have ever done. But
here you are.
Here I am. And it's true. 100%. I have never heard a band do such a fast turnaround to go from, I even forget what I gave it, maybe 2 stars, maybe less.
That sounds about right.
To this 4-star review.
Whoa, so out of 5 stars, you're giving it 4 stars.
I think they could have spent a little bit longer on the production. The guitars, and I don't know if this is just a copy that we got, but the guitars sound a little bit weak. Not that the playing is weak, the production on it is weak. And if they just mastered it a little bit more, I think it would have been better. But hell, if this isn't one of their best albums that they've ever done, and somebody puts this like number 10 on, or the last number on a Lamb of God ranking, there's something wrong with them. Wow. This is really good.
Well, then, you know what? I need to live up to that. I guess it's my turn, huh? Let me walk through hell right now.
3, 2, 1, go.
So I think what makes me like this album so much is that you got songs like Nevermore, Into the Grave that show that the band has finally found a more natural way to inject Randy's clean vocals into their aggressive music, leaning towards the eeriness of his vocals to amplify the song's intensity, as opposed to it kind of just feeling a little forced. And the guitar work throughout the album, especially in songs like Gomorrah, it feels more inspired than what the band has done in the past few years. Nothing extremely new or outside the standard Lamb of God riffs, but it just sounds as if they were playing with more passion and vigor than they have in the past few years. And songs like Vanishing capture a slightly more melodic tone in its riffs, yet it's still as aggressive as you want from Lamb of God. And I mean, Randy probably sounds the most inspired as well. That word keeps hopping up as inspired, because when he sings the lyric, "I don't give a goddamn," in the song Ditch, it just feels so classic Randy, so satisfying to hear him sing that. And that title track is just a fun-ass stomper. I mean, it's the kind of song that will probably become the best entrance for a WWE wrestler in the future of all time. So, I mean, in short, it might not be Lamb of God pushing the envelope, but Omens is definitely the most passionate and engaged they've sounded in a long time. It's as if, I don't want to say that they were disinterested in the material in the past, but here at Omens, it sounds like that band actually came into the studio and was having a blast. You can actually hear them enjoying playing, and I could actually imagine myself enjoying hearing this band play these songs live, which is a claim I haven't been able to say about a Lamb of God album in a long time.
Got a time and star rating out of 5.
I'm leaning towards 3.5, but I could honestly see myself moving toward the 4-star ranking the more I listen to it, because I agree with you, man. The production, something about it almost takes away from the heaviness of the sound.
Yeah.
But this is probably, I won't say this is the best Lamb of God album in a long time, but this was probably the most fun album I've heard from them. Like I say this before, it sounded like they were having a blast. And I almost wonder if with the last album, the self-titled Lamb of God album, I've noted that Art Cruz, their new drummer, was the best part about that album. It's almost like makes me wonder, maybe they were just nervous to record a new album without Chris Adler. And here with Omens, they finally were like, okay, no. Art Cruz is a freaking beast. We need to stop being scared and just embrace the amazing kind of vibe he's bringing to the music.
So I don't know if I heard that. From what I was able to pick up, it sounded to me like they weren't just being brutal for the sake of being brutal. There's definitely still remnants of the old albums on here. However, what I think the hardcore elements that I kind of pick up in here, it really sounds like, and you mentioned it too, a little bit of conviction behind what they're saying. Like they actually believe what they're talking about. And it's not just like, I'm going to be brutal for the sake of being brutal. It's like, no, I'm going to come here. I'm going to punch you in the face and really mean it. If you listen to any old school Hatebreed or Madball or any of that New York City hardcore style, it sounds like they kind of went back in time a little bit to figure out where Lamb of God could go and went there and kind of laid it on the line. And if it didn't work, it didn't work. And it was, another album of, all right, whatever. But it worked, and it'd be really interesting to see if they're going to stay the course on future albums.
So I agree with you that there is definitely more of a hardcore conviction, hardcore influence on this album. But I would argue, going back to my fun statement, you could still have fun and a blast playing that kind of extreme music. And I would go with
not going to argue with that, because
I would go with the whole mentality of sin with a grin. To your point, there's conviction. They actually believe what they're singing. For the first time, it wasn't just Lamb of God trying to sound extreme. It was them actually sounding extreme while enjoying it. It's almost them finally, like, for the first time in a long time, embracing that anger, that extreme sound, and actually, like I said, sitting with a grin almost. It's just something about them changed from them just coasting to them actually bringing their A game to this record, to the material.
Agreed.
And I don't know if it was maybe the past 2 or 3 years made them realize not to take shit for granted. Maybe it was they just finally realized, you know what? Our cruise really is bringing some energy to this. Let's freaking ride with it.
Maybe they heard my review of the last album and decided to kick it into gear.
Oh no, Matt Gamba didn't like our last album. How can we impress him?
Exactly. Who wouldn't want to?
Every other band that we review. But like, it definitely sounded like a band that gave a crap. It's the band that gave a crap 10 years ago, finally coming back going, no, we still do. We promise. And they living up to that promise.
Well, here's hoping that it carries on and this is not just a one and done.
We'll see. But you know what? None of that really matters. What matters is who between us was able to give the longest review in under 2 minutes. So Matt, would you like to know what your time is?
No, it's okay. I'm good.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you anyway.
Okay.
You came in at 1 minute and 27 seconds.
All right. Respectable.
Yeah. How about me?
Well, by default, I win. You came in at 2 minutes and 1 second.
No freaking way. I want to see the clock on this one. BS.
Sorry, bro.
That one stings, actually. Well, do you agree with us? Do you think that this is the best Lamb of God have sounded in years? Or do you think that we're so full of it and we don't know what we're talking about? Let us know on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Epic Footnote. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel to hear more reviews like this, as well as check out some other cool episodes. And thank you once again to Lucky 13 Beard Co.
Log on to lucky13beardco.com. Throw anything inside of the store, inside of your cart, and get 10% off, including our Lemmy-inspired beard oil, bourbon, tobacco, cola, and leather. It smells amazing. You're going to feel amazing. And it's going to feel even better with 10% off. Use the code EFP10 at checkout. That is EFP10, Lucky13, the number, beardco.com.
In fact, I'm going to go ahead and make a really bold statement. Mark, John, from Lamb of God, I'm specifically looking at you, although all the guys in the band have beards, so I'm going to make this statement. I bet you guys would love our Lemmy-inspired Beard Co. If you even tweeted us, I'll make sure that Ed from Lucky 13 Beard Co. sends you a bottle of our beard oil. I'm making that bold statement right here. Ed, make it happen. And thank you all for listening, and now you've got something to die for.
See ya.